famous Wisconsin super deli.
I love everything about it. I'm taking my daughter here. She's from California, so she can experience Tenutas.
Where you been?
The owners have given lots of kids their first job.
We must have hired through the years thousands of kids.
This is what makers do. They create opportunities for themselves and others.
Arrivederci. E salute.
That you can start off and go and make it for yourself.
That's what built the country.
Absolutely. It's what's made us so exceptional.
But will we be exceptional tomorrow? That's next. You union thugs are sucking the life out of America. This is how I get to work most mornings. I take the subway. Or sometimes I take the bus. Both the bus and the subways in my town are run by an organization called the MTA. It's a government monopoly that's losing money hand over fist.
Most of that money goes to pay bus drivers, subway conductors, train mechanics, and so forth, most of whom are union members, and most of them belong to Transit Workers Union Local 100, run by John Samuelson.
We represent 34,000 subway and bus workers.
And their contract's much too rich, says the MTA.
The MTA says we're $800 million in the hole. Cut us some slack.
There's nothing funny about it, says James McDougall. Public sector unions are parasites that will bankrupt America.
It is literally the parasite devouring the host.
The host, he says, is private enterprise, and the parasite is unions and governments.
It's crazy that the private sector is literally dying and the federal government is providing more and more and more pay and benefits to its own employees at the same time.
McDougall's a businessman who built this payroll service company from scratch. His business was all about employee pay, and so over the years he's been dismayed to watch government award their workers raises and special benefits like retirement at age 55.
I mean, it used to be the deal, you go work for the government because it's safe, you can't be fired, but you make less. Now they make, if you include the pension, double.
More than double, because they have fantastic benefits.
People say you union thugs are sucking the life out of America.
You know what I say to that? I say that the trade union movement is the greatest anti-poverty program that was ever developed.
Jobs are the best anti-poverty program. There's more job growth when you guys are not involved.
That's absolutely false. The trade union movement and civil service in this country has been the gateway into the middle class. That's what this is about.
Really? I don't know many in the middle class with benefits like these. Union transit workers reach top pay grade after just 3 years. They take lots of sick days with full pay, and they can get to retire with a good pension at age 55.
Why is that fair?
Well, let me tell you, why isn't that fair?
Because most people can't. Most people work till 65 or longer.
Let's address that. We work in disgusting conditions. We work around human fecal matter, dead rats. We breathe in steel dust all day long. We're out there keeping the system running. When folks like you are sitting in a studio interviewing guys like me, is that fair?
And to make it fair, you get to retire at 55.
Absolutely.
Transit workers, like cops and firemen, say they deserve higher pay because their jobs are dangerous. But America's most dangerous jobs are logging and, most dangerous of all, fishing. Much more dangerous than police or transit work.
Loggers don't retire at 55. People who fish for a living,
I don't know anything about
jobs.
loggers.
But I look at the most deadly jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing is at the top of the list. Logging, farming, garbage men, roofers. Transit workers are way down.
This is the richest country in the world. To expect
we can't afford you anymore.
That's an absurd statement.
Bill Schoolman's bus company competes with the MTA.
Their pay is so much higher than what a private business can afford to pay. It is a corrupt practice to see the way that they burn taxpayer dollars.
Schoolman trains bus drivers, but often loses them to the MTA.
They got much better benefits. He starts with a 30-day vacation. Very hard to compete.
Not to mention all the sick days.
A fourth of your workers took more than 15 sick days. In the private sector, they wouldn't last long doing that.
I don't believe that's true.
It's not true that a quarter of the people take 15 sick days?
About 25% of our workforce are women. Women have babies.
But in the private sector, there are women getting pregnant.
Are you saying that women who are pregnant, how long is a, I mean, let's talk about this.
I'm just wondering why there are so many sick days.
I'm telling you why there's so many sick days. There's a significant amount of New York City transit workers are women now, whereas it never was like that.
There are a lot of women around here, too.
Mm-hmm. And when they get pregnant, how much time do they take off for work?
I don't know.
So
I'll find out.
You're pointing your finger at me and at my union, and you really don't even have an answer for it.
Good point. So I got an answer. Pregnant women, and then there are plenty of them at Fox, do get 8 to 10 weeks paid maternity leave. But not a single Fox employee took 15 sick days. The average number taken was just 3. 83 transit workers claimed a passenger spat on me. 51 of them took an average 64 days off.
Have you ever been spit on?
Yeah, actually.
You have.
I don't like it, but I wouldn't get 64 days off.
We've had folks that have been spat upon that have gotten hepatitis. They've been spit in the eye and gotten eye infections and have taken significant amount of times off for that.
Unions always have reasons why taxpayers must pay. But why do government officials agree to the deal?
Unions do what unions do. If you're dumb enough to negotiate the stupid deals that the MTA management has negotiated, then shame on them.
Most of those elected officials don't know how to read a balance sheet. They're just not equipped to manage the process of managing 22 million people who work in the public sector.
Some who were equipped didn't seem to care. After all, the pension bill won't come due until later.
The person who did it 15 or 20 years ago is long gone, the council or the congressman or the senator. So we have, in effect, a crimeless victim. The victim is the taxpayer, but nobody really committed a crime.
We won!
And the political machinery perpetuates the scam. Politicians give workers raises, and then the workers campaign for the POLs.
It's a money pump. It goes from the taxpayer to the public employee, to dues to the union, from the union to the candidate who will promise to do more for the public sector employee. It's crazy.
Even popular politicians cannot break the cycle. When Arnold Schwarzenegger tried, he was met with this.
Arnold, shame on you!
And cuts didn't happen.
The legislature has decided it is more important to protect state employees.
California now has a $19 billion deficit. Were the state a private company, it would be bankrupt and replaced by more efficient competition. But most government workers don't have competition.
In the private sector, there are no monopolies. So if somebody overpays, overpromises their workers, they go out of business.
Yes, they do.
But in government,
we don't have a choice of saying we're going to have someone else be our police department or someone else be our fire department.
Union benefits are so good that in Miami, thousands lined up to apply for fire department jobs. Some camped out for 2 days. A few towns have escaped the money pump by privatizing public services. These workers fixing streets and picking up trash in Sandy Springs, Georgia, gee, aren't they working fast? These workers work for a private company, and they get more work done in less time.
We have fewer employees than the city to the north of us, and we have exactly the same population.
The mayor, it's just coincidence she looks like Margaret Thatcher, started privatizing her town's government work 5 years ago. Some in town were not happy that their tax money was becoming some company's profit.
And I say, what difference does it make if the company is making a profit, but you're getting a service that costs you less?
We've got 18 cameras that we currently have on Roswell Road.
At the Traffic Management Center, they have computers and cameras.
And car fire.
So when a car catches fire, they send out rescue vehicles right away.
We try to find the problems before anybody's actually calling us with it.
Our government is more efficient.
This realtor was amazed at the difference.
5 or 6 miles of new sidewalks installed. Our traffic lights are synchronized now, so there aren't traffic jams.
We had a survey done asking the public, how do you feel about each of these services? And the answers came back 90%. Very good. Excellent.